So thank you so much, Nnamdi. Permit me to call you Nnamdi. She might be calling you Uba. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Uche. Not usually, but I'm the host of this African Founders Webinar Series. And the reason we founded this webinar series is to connect Cambridge students and diaspora students to what is happening in the African continent, giving them that perspective to speak with people who are actually building real stuff, to learn from them, and then have a time to connect and ask more questions after the webinar. So we believe maybe you'll be able to give us access to you after the call, in case some people want to reach out, and maybe Damilola, she's going to obviously lead us of the questions, and she would want you to give her access as well. So Damilola is going to introduce herself, and then you introduce yourself, and then quick questions, and we'll kickstart the show. Thank you. Over to you, Dami.
Thank you so much, Uche. Hi, great to meet you again. I'm Damilola, and it's so nice to be moderating this event this evening. I've read so much about you, and I did a lot of research, and I look forward to a very conversation with you today. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys are flattering me anyway.
Interesting. I think it's worth it. It's worth it. So maybe Nnamdi, you can give us a bit intro about yourself, and then she will take it from there. She has a bit bio of you that she can read out, but maybe we'll start with something small from you, and then she can do the big one.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nnamdi Uba. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sytemap. So at Sytemap, we are leveraging technology such as satellite imagery and blockchain to make sure that owning properties in Africa can be safer and also possible to finance. Because we understand one of the challenges we have in Africa is people want to buy properties, especially land, but there's no way, they don't trust whoever that is going to sell it to them. You understand? That's what I usually say. It's easier to actually pay for a phone worth iPhone. Let's use iPhone as an example. It's easier to pay for an iPhone worth $2,000 online and wait for it to come than to actually buy a land worth $500 in Nigeria. So people don't even want to enter into the stress and all that involve in it. So our goal is to make that happen. And guess what? We are focusing on the women because we understand that it's just 3% of Nigerians or African women actually own land. The cultural barrier, the things that make it easy for women to own land, we focus there to be able to make it easy for the women to become landowners at the moment. So up till now, we've been able to help these women, about over 500 women from last year, because that's not actually what we were doing. We first wanted to do a registry, a digital land registry. We started this since 2021, but we weren't able to advance on that due to COVID-19. So we shifted to helping the private sectors, that the real estate developers, to record their lands on a platform, just more like a private land registries for them. But we noticed that it's not just about recording these. There should be sales before a record will happen. So we now said, okay, let's give you women so that you can start getting women to record on the platform. So that's actually what we've been, our journey and who we are. I'm not a real estate person, but this actually made me to become a real estate person. Why did we start this? My co-founder lost 23 million naira. That's about $18,000 to land fraud in 2017. So we left everything we're supposed to do. I'm from the technology background. We just say, you know what? We can actually solve this problem with technology. And that is what is driving us since then till now. And we believe we can actually achieve that.
Now, did you know I lost money buying land in 2015? That's
Tell us
crazy.
more.
You see,
It was
so
so
it's not
crazy
like
that I couldn't recover the money till today.
Oh,
it's
I
so
haven't. Wow.
it's like in Nigeria, if you have 10 people, 7% has been scammed or they know someone who has been scammed. So it's just like that.
I will tell you the story after.
yeah, I'm
But
interested.
over to
Really
you.
interested.
Get started.
Thank you so much. We're really honored to have you today, and we believe your journey, leadership, and impact really inspire us, especially as African founders and anybody joining. So let me quickly dive into your profile so people understand the depth of your experience and the work you've done around this space. Uba Nnamdi is a visionary CEO and co-founder of Sytemap.
Sytemap.
Thank you.
Took me time to remember.
Sytemap, a property tech company revolutionizing land transaction in Africa by making them simple, fast, and scam-free. With over 6 years of experience in the real estate sector, he has leveraged technology to solve one of Nigeria's most pressing problems, which is land fraud.
I agree.
His leadership has enabled him to partner with over 200 plus estate developers, 3 government agencies, and more than 1,100 land NFT on the blockchain. Wow. Before founding, he co-founded Bitpire, a crypto exchange in 2017, which gave him depth into blockchain applications. Professionally, he spent 6 years at MTN, that's Africa's largest telecom, as a network administrator, where he sharpened his technical and operational skills. Academically, he studied human computer interaction at Stanford University. So it's so nice to have you today, and we believe we have a great time with you. So let me stop there. Let me dive straight into the question. Like I said, I've read so much and I've done my assignment. Yeah, I could see that.
That's a very great university.
I could see that, yeah. So let's start with my questions. Land fraud is deeply systemic in Nigeria. What specific moment made you realize that this wasn't just a real estate problem, but a system problem that required a property tech solution?
Yeah, Dami, before you answer that, I wanted to add,
okay,
because she used the word systemic. I'll tell you a bit of story about how I lost money in land.
Okay.
So someone came to me and said, there is a landed property at a very good site that I should come and see it. I said, wow. I and my friend, we went. We saw the land. The land was actually existing there.
Okay.
We inspected the land, and he gave us the paper of the land, something that looked like, this is the paper of the land. I said, once we follow the transaction process and make money and make the payment, all the transfers will happen. Then we did that. On the day we went to collect the paper, we discovered that the land actually doesn't belong to any of the party that was sitting there. And then, can I get my money back? No. I was being posted and posted. A year turned into 2 years, and it's close to more than 10 years now, and I've forgotten about that. So please, help us answer this question.
It's very important.
Yeah, usually how it happens. So what we usually do is you have to go deeper and ask people around. So you don't have just get into problems, and also verify from the registry if the land has an encumbrance. So the major encumbrance we usually look for is government allocation or government acquisition. So if that place is marked government acquisition, so there's no point actually even going there, because even if you register that land, first you cannot register the land because they will still find out that it's government acquired. So you can't register the land. Even if you go and rectify, maybe you spend a lot of money with the officers in charge and you rectify the land and they convert it to maybe a normal land. A new governor can come in and say, you know what, that place is meant for airport. We are demolishing every house is there, and which is also what is happening in Lagos right now and other states. Like I know Kano, a place meant for market was converted to an estate, giving out C of O. So a new government entered and said this place is supposed to be market, revoke the whole CFO, and demolish the whole houses. So, which means in Nigeria, having CFO is not even enough because the governor has superpowers. So they can easily revoke and demolish. So the best is making sure that you focus more on the master plan. In as much as government can still acquire new places often now and then. So the best way is make sure where you are trying to get, government has not taken it yet. You understand? So if you get that, you now first government to go and register. So that even if government is coming back to say, oh, we need this place, they will not compensate you. But if it doesn't happen, they won't compensate you. So that's usually how it works to be able to survive in a place like Nigeria.
So what moment did you realize that this is a problem you need to solve?
First, like I said,
what sparked you to attend to this?
Yes, like I said, we lost 23 million naira. That's $18,000 to land fraud. I never thought of anything about land fraud in my life before. I've not known how it works as of that time until it happens. You understand? Because the land, we did the verifications and all that. Everything is fine. We were okay with it, and we went ahead to buy. So it's now when we want to resell that the main party that actually owns the land came out. And this is 1 year after we bought. So it's not like after we bought, we didn't really have anything. We just left the land. But when we wanted to resell, there are buyers who are pricing and all that, doing inspection. Then the main owner came. And the seller was like, I thought you were dead. You have not done anything in this land.
Oh, that's so hilarious.
Also, those kind of things. So we started talking of refunding our money and all that. So
was it refund? Did you get a refund? Did you get a refund?
We took the case seriously. $18,000 of as of 2017 is not a small money. So we took it up, we disturbed, there was in a time we had to threaten the man around 4 a.m. in the morning. You know, going to someone's house around 4 a.m. in the morning means you are serious. You want to die. So, so those kind of things made the man to actually start refunding. Although since then till now, it's been like, hello, sir, we have not seen anything. He said, okay, tomorrow he will pay. So yeah, he's still paying and he's not yet completed up till now, since then till now. So, but it's something that we saw that we can be able to use technology to be able to make it easier for both the government and especially the people buying, to be able to solve that problem. So as that problem is also going, it's not just that. So we also start seeing the private sector's issues too, which is also tending back to not using a right system. We saw a lot of news coming in where developers they have a project, they bring it out, maybe 500 plots, but massive marketing, massive campaign, a lot of realtors attached to that project. All they do is sending money to an account. Before you know it, a 500 plots, 1,000 people must have paid for it. Then oversubscriptions start coming in. And one thing about oversubscription is, as these monies are coming, you have expenses, you have overhead costs, you are spending, you understand, most times you might not be accounted, you might not be giving account of how you are spending, because you don't control, your bank account cannot control how much it can carry, you understand? So even if you want to sell, even if you want to say it's sold out, people that don't know will still be paying him money. And once money comes in, you can't really say, come and take your money back. And you can say, okay, let's take you to phase 2. Maybe phase 2 they have not seen land, or the land they have seen must have entered into another issue that will tie that money down there. They don't have another money to locate you again. That's why a lot of developers start having allocation issues, especially people in diaspora. They keep saying, I bought land since 2018, 17, I've not been allocated my land. I don't even know where the land is. All those kind of issues are now the secondary thing we are facing right now. So we looked at this from the scam side, we looked at it from the system side, and we found out that there should be a system that can show people where the plot is, what is available, and what is theirs. So if we can get that kind of system, then we can be able to start solving a lot of problems. And that is actually what we are doing right now.
Dami, I wanted to ask, Nnamdi, for context, because of our listeners, is it possible for you to summarize, what a land fraud is in Africa or in any developing country, and maybe summarize the kind of land frauds you think we experience, like the one I mentioned, I think is similar to yours, a bit ownership fraud or something.
Yes,
So our listeners will have a very strong understanding of what you are solving.
Okay, there are so many types of land frauds. There are family owned, where families have to go and write on the wall, this house is not for sale. Beware of 419. Some go as far as saying, beware of Emeka, my son. You understand? You understand? Because a son can go and sell. He has access to the document and go and sell the father's properties. You understand? So that is one of it. Two is the community owned, where someone goes and sells land belonging to a whole community. You understand? Exactly. It happens. It happens, and in Lagos they call it omonile and all those kind of things. So then the third one is this one, the real estate companies own that entered into oversubscription, and they keep telling the client, come today, come tomorrow. There's no land yet, or sometimes they'll tell you that land has had issues and all that. So they can trying to see how they can get a new land for you. Some that are sincere will start processing refund. Some that are not will keep pushing around and see how they can be able to get away with that. Then the other one is where families, this is their own plan business. So they just get online and they decide to sell it to 10 or more people. So they just put that land for sale. This one comes and say, I like it. They sell to you, give you receipt. Another person comes again and say, I like it. They sell to the person, give the person a receipt. So when you now want to build, it becomes a challenge. I know one of my boss, he bought a land in Port Harcourt here, and when he moved to Canada and came back and started trying to maybe start something in the land, he called the lawyer, said, look for the land for me. And below and behold, a duplex is already standing on the land. That means the family has resold. They have resold the land to another person, which is the same thing I said. My own reseller said, I thought you were dead. So maybe the other person must have said, they have built on this land for a very long time. I'm sure this person is still around. And maybe because of the new buyer now has started building or have already built, all their mindset now will be like, maybe that guy has died through, but the guy is alive. You understand? It's just that the lawyer told him to just forget about the land, and since someone has built on it, he should just forget about the land. Although it's a case to make, you understand? Maybe the guy might repay him the money or something like that. Things can happen. There can be a resolution, but the lawyer said, don't go through all this stress. Focus on other ones you own. And he left the land for that person. So these are the kind of frauds that happens in Nigeria.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Some families too. Some families also go and sell the government allocated lands. Like I said, their lands, the lands meant, like where I'm staying in Port Harcourt here, we have a very big, massive land at the back of the back of our building. That land is for federal government. It's federal government that owns that land. So that land is empty, even though it's inside town, but it's still very empty. So if families can say it's like government is not coming back anytime soon and start selling it, You understand? So when they start selling it, you buy, build. Before you know it, federal government will remember the land one day. That's demolition. There's
That's
nothing you can do about it.
Wow. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I know I was laughing, but this is a very serious
Yeah,
issue.
yeah, yeah. But it's
No,
really
once you enter
very
into it, you find out that you don't have peace of mind anymore. Land issues can
Oh,
give you that kind of sad life, and
very true.
especially when
really,
it has to do with your life savings. It's really a
exactly,
very great
exactly,
problem
exactly.
you are
Yeah.
solving in Africa. Well done. And I love your motivation. It's quite inspiring. Like turning problem to solution. That's great.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wanted to also say, maybe before we go into asking things around how he does things, I wanted to ask, how does Sitemap actually address these problems? So how does Sitemap operate? How do you guys work? So what do you guys actually do that I can point and say, wow, Sitemap is solving this land fraud or land issues?
Okay, so how we started, like I gave before, how we started is we wanted to we noticed, the land registries in the whole country is paper-based, and
Very analog.
95% of land, 95% of land in Nigeria alone is contestable. You don't know who owned them, 95%.
Wow.
You understand? So it's just only 5% that is recorded, that has actual record. Okay, so, and this 5% is mostly the central cities, not the coming up urban area, because everybody is buying from a community. It's only when you go back to the state to register, your land will be registered. And 90% of almost everybody do not go and register, because going to register means government is going to charge you all the statutories payment, 10% of the land value. You have to pay all those things before they register the land for you. So that made it very difficult for a lot of people to go back to the state government to register. So all these things make you can't even use your land. Banks in Nigeria cannot use your land to give you collateral, because they can't ascertain that is your own.
That's
Yeah.
You understand? They don't have any government record that can say this land belongs to you. You understand? When I was in Abuja, I see where one C of O, a land was bought for 17 million. The woman sold the land to
That's
another
how much in
person.
dollar?
17 million in dollars should be $1,200. So she bought it then. She sold it.
9,200.
No, 1,200. 1,200. So the woman sold it to another person because she already has done her C of O. The second person refused to redo the C of O to his own name. He was still carrying the land as the woman's name. This guy also sold it again to another person at 30 million. The third person now that bought the land did not also change the C of O to his own name. So that land was sold to almost 7 people. Currently, that land is worth over $200 million, which is about almost $170,000 right now. But they have not changed the CFO. You're still having the first person CFO, because they don't want to go back to the government, and government will start charging them those fees. So you see that you can't take such land to bank and say, give me collateral. It's not in your name. Bank cannot even give you it. It's not in your name. You understand? So the ones that also bought a freehold land that doesn't have title, bank cannot also ascertain that is yours, because there's no government registered on it. So these are the challenges in those lands. So what we started doing is we first wanted to build a digital registry that can help the government now to record all the land for proper verifications. But we couldn't succeed on that. So we moved that solution to private sectors. We started giving it to the private to be able to use it to manage their own land. So all sales coming on Sitemap to them, or the ones they are selling, is recorded on the system, recorded on the blockchain. The sales processes is handled on the system and is recorded, so they can easily reference it in the future. So the goal is we can, in the future, we can see ourselves partnering with financial institutions. They can leverage on that system to ascertain that, okay, you actually own this plot and give you loan, a mortgage, or anything. So that's why I said we are making land property safe to buy and possible to finance, so that people can easily prove that you own this and it's on the blockchain, which is immutable. So you can easily give you whatever you are looking for, even for maybe secondary resale and all that. And the kind of community we are building now is going to help everyone to be able to buy and resell again. And all the data will just be transferring from one person to owner without everybody, you understand, having that issues of, I don't know whether you own. You can easily see that this person bought before, sell to this person, and sell to this person. So those tracks will be there. So that's pretty much what we are doing right now. Although we don't explain it this way, we just focus more on, you understand, making the buying easier now, where we tell you, you see what you are buying, you see what is available, and you see what is your own. So that's just what we are focusing on right now. But in the future, it's going to make a whole lot of sense.
Fantastic. Dami, over to
Thank
you.
you so much. He has answered my next question. So I have this very important question, and I really want you to answer it. So I realized that you turned down an acquisition offer from one of the Nigerian's biggest bank. What did you see, and why did you say no to that such offer? Because as a founder, we know what it is in the world to turn down offers, especially when it comes to one of the biggest bank. What made you say no? Would want to know.
I think I didn't hear the offer. Can you call the offer again?
Okay. In your profile, you turned down an acquisition offer from one of Nigeria's biggest bank. Why did you say no? And what made you say no?
Okay, I'm still at the early stage. So if I sell now, it might stop the whole process. The whole vision of making this work might end. Understand? Okay. So I've not really solved the problem like I should have. So because if another person takes control, it's no longer my idea. My idea becomes a suggestion which can be taken or not. You understand? Exactly. So, and at this point, we just have to solve that problem the way we are feeling it. You understand? And we just have to also be is this spontaneous? So we need to make decisions fast. We don't need chains of decision making where you submit here, they say, okay, we are submitted to this table, we are submitted to this table, we are waiting for the CEO from here to approve before. So that is going to kill the business immediately. You understand? So the best way is either you invest in us to solve the problem or wahala.
Wow.
You understand? You understand? Because if we quickly said, let's collect money because it's money, by now, if I don't chop the money finish, I would have finished the money. You understand? So, so the best is let's solve the problem the way it's supposed to be solved first. I've been in this since 2019 till now. If I had wanted to leave the whole business, then I would have found it, maybe go back to 9-to-5 jobs and all that. But it's something that we have passionate about. We have gone series of understanding what is actually needed in the business to this stage that we are now on our growth stage of moving very fast. So we've been able to see what should work and what is working. Now is to scale the business in a very rapid way. So if we would have collected that fund by now, it is either the business has died or anything, because as they don't agree, we also will not agree. It might not work and all those kind of things. Highest, they will not sack you. If they sack me, they don't have the primary idea. It's another problem too.
Yeah. That's so fantastic. This is leading me to my next question. What does patience look like for Africans founders building infrastructure like you, and not just apps? How would you define patience for saying no to such a big offer? Please speak to us, African founders.
Yeah, that's why every founder every younger founder I meet, I usually tell them to focus more on what makes them happy. You understand? Or what? Let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. I usually ask that question. If you solve this problem in the future, how will you feel like? Or if you notice that you have 1 million people using your solution in the future and you are the one providing their solutions, how will you feel like? And if you leave today, you're not going to get to 1 million. But if you continue solving this, you might get the solution that can give you that 1 million. So the best is to keep working. There was a time in 2020 I was depressed. I had accident. I even sold my bigger car, entered boat driving. Entered boat driving in Abuja, started even a laundry business while still trying to make this work. All those things was, let me actually also be, eating and providing for the family while I still crack these things. I had to, okay, let me even say, I had to even go to the mountain for 4 days.
As a proper Nigerian boy.
Yes. You understand? So to make these things work. So it's not easy, but we just have to, because we spend a whole lot of money. I wouldn't really call it waste, but all those things are more of what is helping us to scale right now. Because we were not from the real estate side. We just said this problem needs to be solved and someone has to do it. It's long overdue. And we made ourselves that person that we solve that problem. So we entered into this ecosystem and started learning, started talking with the real estate companies, understanding how the business works and all that. So it became something that we are now proud of that we did. If we had left this business then, we wouldn't have reached this point where we are right now.
Yeah, and I don't even think you need to be yourself, because even if you were from the real estate sector, you will still have a lot of learning to do from the technology sector, which is a very big, it's like trying to bring tech and real estate together. So it's also a lesson that anyone has to learn, no matter where you are coming from.
And for the fact that that solution has never existed, I'm not sure there's any startup or any
exactly. Being also a first timer has its own disadvantage. It could help you grow. It could also kill you. You understand? True. So it's just like we tried a lot of things that looks new. You understand? So, but when we find out that we can't really do new thing, you understand? In the ecosystem, anywhere. In fact, my advice to every founder right now is don't try to manufacture anything that is new. Please, it won't help.
Wow.
What should we do as founders, Uba?
Just whatever that is working right now, just plug your socket there and derive what makes you special. That's all.
That's a very strong point.
Drive what makes you special. Just plug in on what is on existing, but have your long-term goal of where you are going, you understand, or where you want to be. But plug in on what is working. Then and bring in what makes you, like now, the women that we are selling to. What are we doing differently is, one, we are just focusing on women. Everybody is selling to everybody, anybody. But we said we want to focus on the women. That's what is making us different. You understand? I've seen a lot of people who say when they started selling real estate, they spent 1 year, 2 years before they could get one sale. But me, in my first 3 months, I've already done 100. You understand? So that is it. Then again, because I entered into what is already everywhere, everybody's selling and all those things. As I'm talking to the women, I need to also make them special. I need to make myself special. I introduce free document delivery by the CEO. Even if the person is in Abuja, I will travel to the Abuja and deliver the document. So I start building connections with my client. And 80% of people who has bought from us before for the first time has bought again. You understand? So it now made it easy for me to enter into the market. So because it's working, I just derive things that are already making it easy for us. You understand? So we just created something special. We have a community where we talk to these women, we teach them the real estate terminologies and all those. We do videos, share with them, and they just buy. All we just do is we just post sales around and they buy. And with our technology, it makes the whole thing transparent. So we don't even call you to say, you're supposed to pay this money. You have not. Our technology does those things for them, and they are happy because we don't call them to disturb them about payment. They just get email and they do the right thing. And it makes the whole work super simple for both me. People that cannot pay, they'll call. Because of how that email comes, people that cannot make payment will call and say, please, I have something, I have a situation now. Can I pay the next day? I say, you are free. Everybody goes, and it's been working. I can tell you that people that started paying March last year, finished their payment even before December. So everything was working the way we structured our own business. So it started moving perfectly well. So don't try to form a new business that is from anywhere and say you want to be unique. Base your uniqueness on your process, on your the system of how you are selling. Two people, you can see that shoe is selling. Enter into shoe, but build something that makes you different from another person selling shoe. That's all.
I think one thing I just learned from what you said about selling to women. People speak less of this. I don't know whether I'm correct, but there is a huge statistics about women not owning land in Africa.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a very strong differentiation, Nnamdi. So it's not just common. Empowering women to own land means they are going to feel secured and protected. They are sure no one is going to come and take the land from them. You've given them that assurance, and maybe even if they are in a toxic relationship or so, they wouldn't lose their land, because I've heard stories of people who acquired lands and maybe their husband and takes it away from them. Those are stories I've heard, but I don't know whether they're correct.
Uche, to add to that, if you have land from a good source like this, it's what you could use for collateral for bank, for your business. And most women in Africa, we engage in SME. And if you could have a collateral, that means you could expand your business to a larger.
Exactly. We could now also start refinancing them using their properties as a collateral. So we still solve the same problem.
It's a great way you're doing.
So these are the things that we can do in the future. There are a lot of things around it that can generate new revenues for the business.
Yeah, I know lots of people watching might want to ask questions. So
before we go to that, can I just take this one? So for founders in the room, especially founders from Africa building now, so what's the biggest misconception about building Africa tech infrastructure, and what mindset shapes would you want us to go with that today?
Especially building in Africa.
Okay, great. One thing I would like Africans, building for Africans, should know is Africa is totally a different place from Silicon Valley. In as much as we are pursuing Silicon Valley's fund, but scale and growth from Africa side is actually a total different thing. Like me, I've been in the ecosystem since 2017, and it's actually last year and this year I started having massive growth. Why? Because if I tried building a Silicon Valley model, which didn't work, you understand? We tried a lot of models from the Silicon Valley. Like, for example, subscription-based thing doesn't work in Nigeria. You understand? Try asking someone to be paying every month is something that is no go area in Nigeria. That is why majority of the companies who are targeting Nigerians in the subscription base bring the price to very, very cheap pricing. For example, let's talk about Google, YouTube Music. YouTube Music in US and the UK is charging about $19 every month. If you convert $19 to Nigeria, that's like almost 25 to 26,000 naira. You
Mm.
understand? So how many Nigerians are going to be giving you
Yeah,
27,000 every month?
Very
It's not even
true.
possible. And now how much is YouTube music in Nigeria? 1,700 a month.
wow, that's
Understand?
relatively.
So exactly. Let's also look at Facebook. Facebook blue tick bar is $14 in US and UK. How much is it in Nigeria? 4,600 naira. So here, subscription has to be ridiculously very cheap for people to even start doing it. So, and that way is not a sustainable business. And you're also going to still have that churn rate, because a lot of people ask themselves, what am I even getting here that I'm paying almost every month? So if
Every
it's not
month.
there,
Yeah, very
so
true.
the churn rate is going to be there. So you need to, I did that when I started with the developers. I was charging $22 monthly, and people will come pay for 3 months, and the next month you're calling Alpha. You will not see the person. You understand? And they were like, we cannot be logging into your website every day. I can't even remember your website name. To come and log in to check my land. It will work. What did we do? We started building with their own domain name, started giving them white label solution, setting up with their own domain name so that they can access it. You understand? And when you set up all the, so as you are getting those things, so you need to learn from the market. This class customer, what is actually their need, and not the Silicon Valley model or something. So you need to keep understanding what is needed by so the best way to run a startup is just to always be your customers' friends, understand what they need, understand how to solve that problem for them, and it becomes super simple. And once you can do all those things for them, they will like you. That's Nigeria for you. You understand? Like I said, delivering documents to the women has made them to rebuy. So some people, once I deliver that document, I'll still be in their house. They will say, let's check other lands and see if we can see another one. I like, just at that delivery date, they are already buying another one. Some will be so excited. One of my madam, I call her my madam now, is after delivery, I called her, I'm coming to give you document. I'm still on my way. I didn't even know there are packages coming in. You understand? Immediately I came in, I found out that they were cooking for me. They were preparing for me.
You are really their friend.
Exactly. So I came, I said, I will have a lot of food for you. We waited. We can't believe that you are doing this. This is so nice. Keep it up. Give me food. Give me transportation of $50.
Wow.
Understand?
Oh, wow. That's
You understand those kind of things. So building those relationships makes them to trust you more, and they will just do the business with you. And they will, even when things are going wrong and you explain it to them, they will believe you and keep calm. So that's how these things work. So even if there are places that you didn't do well, you understand, they will say, but I have trusted you so much. So there's no point, you understand? So that's how it works. So as a founder in Africa, just find the root of the people you want to solve this problem for, what is actually their challenge, and solving that problem for them. Then grow from the people you have, take their feedback, take their testimonies, share everything with them, be transparent enough for them to trust you, and then you build a solid business.
Thank you so much, Uba. In policy, we call this evidence-based policy. Like, and I love what you said, that don't bring Silicon Valley solution. Look at what is happening. Localize your solution. Because most funders will want to revolutionize, want to make the world a better place. And people who want to make the world a better place for, we don't understand the problem. The problem we assume they have, it's not what they have. So thank you so much for speaking on that. Uche, do you have something before we go today?
Yeah, I think you can continue with your questions. Then we'll pull questions from the audience and join what you have.
Okay.
Anyone, sorry, audience, if we don't pick your question, we'll have another one coming up 2 weeks' time. So we'll try to find a way to answer those questions or share them with Mr. Nnamdi, and then he can answer personally.
Okay, and to put that, in case you have questions, just put it in the chat box, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I have another question here. Can I go on?
Yeah, continue.
Oh, okay. So in 10 years, what does Africa land system look like if Sytemap succeeds? Yeah, I got it right now.
If Sytemap succeed, then
Yeah.
I don't know, you guys know what we are calling NIPS in Nigeria.
Yeah, NIPS, yes. Then the
NIPS is
banking
like,
stuff that
yeah,
connects
NIPS is like,
all the
that's
accounts
exactly.
together.
NIPS connects all the payment from they switch, or let's say you want to transfer money from bank A to bank B. So there is NIPS. NIPS is a switching center or a gateway. So they are the ones that will move that money from bank A to bank B. So you are sending money to GTB, you're sending money from Access Bank to GTB. The money will first go to NIPS before it goes to Access Bank. So in the 10 years, we are structuring ourselves to become that infrastructure backbone that powers trusted real estate transactions. So by that 10 years, all transactions should be passing through Sytemap to be able to know that it's trusted. To actually achieve these, we have actually signed an MOU with Nigerian Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, setting up the whole infrastructure to make sure that we can achieve this.
That's fascinating.
That's huge. Yeah, and it's achievable.
Wow.
So yeah, my next question is, if we're starting Sytemap today in big 2026,
I've been expecting that question.
Instead of what you did now, what would you do differently?
If I'm starting Sytemap today, I wouldn't have gone to see the government, going to see the real estate developers. I would have just go straight to the women directly.
Wow, you already know your target audience now.
Wow.
Yes. I wouldn't have wasted those time.
Big win for the women in the building.
I wouldn't have wasted all those time trying to figure out because why I'm saying this is I wasted a lot of times, a lot of years, you understand? There are a lot of processes. You send document to this person, send to here, send here before you can get approved. So I would have get started with the women, get one or two real estate developer that we can trust and start with them only. You understand? Then as another developer is seeing that this person is actually selling well from here, you can easily come. You understand? So if we started from the back instead of from the front. So, but it's also the things you see in trying to build the business.
In building a startup, customer discovery, or explore them how you can understand your market is something people usually underestimate.
Exactly.
You telling me this, I was just picking my brain and asking myself, wow. So because there were so many things we did wrong in my firm 2 years ago when we launched the product. We felt, the solar developers would buy. And you come to them that start telling you why someone else has something cheaper, why someone else is going to offer this. And some of them doesn't make sense, some make huge sense. And before you're able to run around all those bottlenecks, time is just fast. Interesting.
Exactly. So I think it's something, it happens to every startups, every founders. There is always one or two regrets there and there, but it's actually what makes the business. You understand? And that is also why some of investors will invest in you, because when you come back to them and say, this is where we were before, and this is where we are now, they will be like, oh, yeah, some of them will say, oh, you didn't die. That means I'm going to invest. So some of the investors that invested in us are people that we have known 3 years back. We have told them our idea. They say, oh, well, continue, just keep me on the know. So when you start sharing a good success, they say, now it's time for me to give you more, because you have shown resilience, you didn't quit, and all those kind of things.
That's great. So, a question from the audience. And it's cool. 2 questions I'm going to go once. Thank you for sharing your amazing work. How does legality of ownership work with your platform? Does the blockchain record constitute legal ownership?
That's the first.
Yeah, that's the first question. Would you want me to repeat that again?
Yeah, I can. Okay. Let me answer that first. So what we are doing right now is still is a legal thing, in as much as in Nigeria, before anything can be constituted legal, is they have to take it to the Senate or House of Rep for them to do those who say I with they hit the stuff on the ground. So so we started from the simplest place. Okay, so we didn't want to digitize proof of ownership. So we're digitizing proof of allocation. You understand? So allocation is what we're focusing more on, and not ownership, because in Nigeria, nobody in Nigeria owns land. You're only giving a rent of 99 years. Even your proof of
It's true.
of O that you have is not like you own the land. You are giving a renter certificate for 99 years, or I think 90 years or 99 years. So nobody owns land in Nigeria. So I can't really say I am giving you proof of ownership. That means the government will just come for me the next morning. So I focus more on proof of allocation. And proof of allocation, that's the real estate companies, they actually give out this as a paper certificate. Okay. So even if I'm not existing, they still give people certificate of allocation as a proof that they have allocated this land to you. They also give people deed of assignment to show that we have transferred the ownership of this land, the ownership of this land to you. So we just digitize those things and put it on the blockchain. So we didn't change that's why I said don't go and generate your own new business model. To just work with what is available, so that you don't change the business. You don't change it will become very difficult for people to even accept what you are doing. So it might be they might see that, like, it's very difficult for people to change. You understand? So you just flow with what is available and just bring in new stuff that make your own difference. So we just digitize the allocation and put it on the blockchain. So you could verify that this real estate company allocated this plot to this person. So that's what is on the blockchain.
Okay. Thank you. We have another question from Bupe. Yeah.
I think there's secondary from the other ones. How do you?
Okay, I'm just looking at that time. So, okay, but let's take it. How do you get stakeholders like banks to accept the record as proof of ownership?
Oh, okay. For now, we are still building. We have not actually started telling banks to come and take. That time we reach, it will naturally sink on its own. For now, we don't go there yet, because going there yet is building a new thing which nobody is going to accept. Which I said is nobody is going to accept you bringing a new thing. So it will naturally flow and join. When I have 1 million landowners on the platform, it will naturally just flow in.
It's true. Network effect will just happen.
Thank you so much. We have another question from Bope. We are going to take one from Bope before we move to others. Could you talk more about how you establish partnerships with other entities within the real estate ecosystem, like the Ministry of Lands and Surveys, that were complementary and not redundant? Do you want me to take the question?
Yes, I get that. So let's do it this way. The real estate companies, they go to the family, get, like, let's say 20 hectares of land, divide it into estates or communities like we know, and they start selling the plot. So what it means that they have the hundreds or the 20 acres is already registered in the land registry, the layout has been approved and all that. So what we do is we digitize these layouts and put it on the exact location where it's supposed to be on a satellite imagery. So with that digital satellite imagery, we can call it maybe a digital twin of that physical land. So on our system, you see the plots, all the 20 or all the 100 plots in that 20 acres. You see the whole plot. So you can We have color demarcation. So we use color to differentiate the one sold, the one that is available, and the one someone is already making payment on.
Okay.
So green is available, red is sold. So with our system, you could see all those things, plus. So you can't choose what another person has already paid for or what somebody is already paying for. You only choose from the green, which is available. So once you choose the green, make your first payment or all the payment, it will also be marked sold. Nobody is also going to choose it. So the real estate companies and the certificate of allocation will be prepared. The survey will also be given to you. So that way, there is no duplicate allocation. Even if you go back to the ministry to register it, there will never be duplicate allocation because it's just 100 plots. Once it's sold out, it's sold out. No oversubscription, nothing else.
Wow, that's so great. So thank you so much, everybody, and thank you so much, Uba, for an amazing and high-opening session. As a founder myself, I've learned so much and I've really gained so much. Like I said earlier, I said I was looking forward to a great time, which I had. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I'm going to hand over to Uche.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. I know there are more questions on the call, but normally this the number of questions we take makes us like run over 1 hour. But I try as much as possible to keep it within 1 hour. Yeah, so if there are questions you've asked that we've not answered, we'll try our best to reach back to you as soon as possible. And if you also have any question, you can just send me an email or Damilola an email, and then that will get sorted to get to Nnamdi. So Nnamdi, thank you so much. What you've done today has been very helpful, especially for people that want to get something started. The Mastercard Foundation Scholarship Program here at the University of Cambridge hosts lots of students from Africa, and part of their mandate is to excite African students to go back to the continent and build stuff. And you've done a great job telling us how you've started, most of the mistakes that were made, and the new things that would have been done. So I don't know if you have any closing remark for us, and then so that will be the next. So your closing remark, and then we share your LinkedIn profile and
Yes, so
amazing. And then we will take it from there, and we'll over to Damilola for closing.
Okay, I want to thank you guys for honoring. It's a pleasure for me to honor your invitations, and we are all building to solve the same problem. Like me, my vision as a human being is to find a way of using technology to solve African problem. And I believe that's what all of us are also doing. I not be with Sytemap. Sytemap is just part of it. So let's assume Sytemap didn't work. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop. I might find another solution within same African problem and start solving. We are not stopping until we make Africa great. So my goal is don't give up. You understand? It might take time because Africa is actually a total different place. But
very difficult space to play.
Yes, so it might take a whole lot of time. Like my own has already taken forever, but we are getting it. But we are getting it. You understand? I know some of my friends too. Like for example, let me give you guys context. Even these guys, them that we are hearing their names right now that are doing big. They suffered also. You didn't actually when they suffered. Like let's use Shola of Paystack as an example. It is not Paystack. Paystack was not the first product.
True.
That guy had more than 3 that has failed.
It's not a lot.
You understand? Yeah. So it's something that you don't have to just give up. You just have to keep building, keep solving that problem and all that. Before you know it, one day it's going to click. The way it will, like I think Facebook founder Mark usually say something like that. Just start, keep running around it. Before you know it, one day you just wake up with that fantastic idea that we just. Once you implement it, everything changes. So that's actually how this thing works. When we first launched Women Estate in September 2014, that's when we first launched the marketplace. We stayed at 3 months without even, doing much. But we were like, one day, I went to Kenya and we were doing business brainstorm. And Kenya is all about, is heavy on social impact and all that. And that was the day someone just suggested it and it clicked. I was like,
Mm.
oh, it's true. I came back home, started running around it, and boom, before we know it, we have sold 500 plots. So that's how it is. So you just keep changing narrative before you know you get it done.
Thank you so much. And these are the words he has left with us. Start. You don't know what you can do until you start.
True.
Exactly.
One day it's going to click, and don't run away. Africans' problems are made for Africans. And we as Africans, we are the only one who can solve Africa problem. So let's make Africa a better place by working on this. Thank you so much once again. And I really want to appreciate Mastercard and eLab for the opportunity. We have another session next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, please join in 2 weeks' times, and we have this series to make you great as an African founder. Thank you so much once again, Uba, for joining us today. I'm going to follow up with any questions, and everybody's going to connect with you on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for dropping your link. And do well to enjoy the rest of your day in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, see you.